On the last month of winter, in 1914, a vessel was launched, unlike any then seen, a liner so stunning, a giant so great, that just her existence promised excellent fate. Her length was 269 meters, or 882 feet, and her speed was a marvelous 23 knots. This all true. The waves would have split themselves, letting her through. Speeches and dinners were held in her honor. It looked like the richest of men would sail on her. She's not just a ship, people would go and whisper. She's far more advanced than her tragic, doomed sister. The new mighty liner was called the Britannic. Her sister had been the unlucky Titanic. She went down in 1912, hitting an iceberg. 1,500 lives were lost. Many were crying. Britannic was ready to serve her line greatly, to cross the Atlantic with comfort and safety. Her speed and her beauty would beat any rival, as would to New York her maiden arrival. But here came to frighten the great gruesome war. A conflict like this never happened before. Her owners, the White Star Line, were one day ordered to give her for service in dangerous waters. The Admiralty needed steady, fast vessels to help in the fighting, make suffering lessen. On 13th November of 1915, Britannic became what had not been foreseen. Whilst her older sister was slaughtered by ice, she would be a hero with crosses and stripes. Britannic was gutted and fitted again, repainted. Her new grim career she began. No grand, calm departure, no lousy arrival, no talk of surprising and thwarting the rivals. Instead, in the darkness, quick not to be seen, she left Liverpool in late 1915. She sailed 5 full voyages, not having trouble. She took wounded soldiers to port on the double. At one point, Britannic was even recalled to carry just passengers once and for all. But that plan was dropped. It was not meant to be. And so the Britannic went back to the sea. But while at the front this news appeared nice, it had doomed the hero with crosses and stripes. November the 21st, 1916, began like a regular day, and it seemed that nothing would stand in Britannic's good way. She would soon be in port. She was close to that day. It was a return journey. She had left Naples on the 17th of the month, calm and stable. She carried no wounded, was just sailing home, and no one imagined just what was to come. At 12 minutes past 8 o'clock before noon, with some woken up and some to wake up soon, Britannic's crew was shaken fiercely with fright. A mighty explosion ripped through her right side. Her captain, Charles Bartlett, ran up to the bridge. Was this an attack? A security breach? He talked to his crew and proceeded himself to shut all the watertight doors nice and well. He personally flipped the switch to be sure and thought for a while that all was secure. At that time, the dining room had some commotion. The morning event caused the crew mixed emotions. Some cut their meal short and, up on their feet, began asking questions. What was it they'd had? Others did not sense the trembling at all, and still kept on wandering through the ship's halls. There also were those who, aware of the blast, did not really focus on what had just passed. The crew had instructed them to just stay calm, sit quietly under the dining room's dome. The ship, after all, was the strongest afloat. It isn't worth even to lower the boats. What none of them knew is that deeper inside, in places unknown to civilian sight, water was rushing into the Britannic, as if a salute from her sister, Titanic. The stackers, the sailors, and the engineers were few ones who knew that the ending drew near. They tried with great strength to secure the compartments. They still weren't shut after Captain Bartlett flipped over the switch, and as for the reason, there still is debate through ages and seasons. They tried, they fought bravely. The flood they kept blocking, but who'll ever comfort them? Workers and stockers. Society always considered them low, and only today of their courage we know. The age of Britannic might seem quite romantic, but without money it was always dramatic. Struggling out of the class of the low, the workers had found themselves dying below. There was no solution till someone proposed that life is what needs to be valued the most. The stackers ran outside, winners, not cowards. They now valued being alive by the hour. But here we shall see their greatest mistake, the lifeboat they all had decided to take. The captain, who was at that time on the bridge, the island of Kia, decided to reach. I say, full ahead, he had ordered his crew. We'll beach the Britannic. Our plan might go through. But he didn't know that without his permission, the workers embarked on their own little mission. They lowered some lifeboats, touched water below, not knowing just what they would soon see above. To be safe from fate like her sisters, Titanic's, the great noble hospital ship, the Britannic, had her propellers still rapidly working, the crew hoping that sailing on was still worth it. The stackers and sailors met horrible deaths that words in this poem are too weak to express. The blood of their ripped apart piers was the last thing they saw before being pulled in for air gasping. Charles Bartlett, the captain, knew nothing of this and kept fighting for the ship, clutching his fists. But soon they could all see Britannic was doomed. The water had gone in too fast, spread too soon. They sent a distress signal, tears in their eyes. We're losing the hero, with crosses and stripes. And there, with the people who lived through the sinking, was one special person. To life she was clinging. Her full name was Miss Violet Constance Jessup. She alone knew what had occurred, managed to dress up, and go on the deck of the dying Britannic. She knew, for she'd served on her sister, Titanic, and her other sister, the lovely Olympic. No sinking that time, just collision, horrific. Miss Jessup quite soon got herself in a lifeboat, as if telling death, look at how much life I've got. And then, soon enough, they would witness more death. They saw the great ship gasp for just one more breath. Her funnels collapsed and her hull started groaning. The medics and crew knew at once what was coming. The great vessel weakened and sunk into water. It was as if Bartlett was losing a daughter. Survivors were shocked, seeing with their own eyes the end of the hero with crosses and stripes. The people were rescued in waters near Greece and sent back at once to recover in peace. Britannic went under in less than an hour, and 60 years passed before she was discovered. Research began being done, planned ahead, but one question stayed in everyone's head. If she was called safer than that doomed Titanic, what could have gone wrong? What had sunk the Britannic? And after much research, much thought, and much work, the answer was finally known to the world. It was a well placed and huge enemy mine that vanquished the hero with crosses and stripes. Today, over 100 years have gone on since the noble ship underwater had gone. And here is my message, though not a surprise. Remember the hero with crosses and stripes.